I had to cool myself down because if you didn't already read the title of the video, today we got something spicy for you. Alright? We're going to take our first dive. Get it? Dive, water. We're going to take our first dive into the year of 2018, 9TAILS, who many would argue is the peak year of 9TAILS before he underwent an alias change and became what we know today as Sewerperson. So now, if you're ready like I am, if you weren't drenched like I am, maybe you should get some water and just go ahead and just cool yourself down. Maybe a little bit, just think about it. But if you're ready like I am, are y'all ready? Of course you are. Let's get to the goddamn video.
Whoa, I can't let it go. Shorty to myself, but the last thing I want is to be here on my own. And the first thing I wanted was to lean to my dome. And the second thing I wanted was to finally find a home. Yeah,
YouTube, how's it going, man? It's your boy TGU, and we are back again in the stew with another special treat for you. And as you can see by the title, by the thumbnail, you guys know what it is. It's part 2 of Sewer Tears, and today we're going to be covering early 2018, and that's right, we're going to be checking out the first album of 2018 by Miles, aka 9TAILS, aka Sewerperson. We're going to be checking out AM to PM, and we're going to be ranking all of the songs, all 15 tracks on that album. Yes, 15 tracks is quite a good sized album. We're going to be checking out all 15 tracks and ranking them from S tier all the way down to D tier, wherever they need to land respectively. If you happen to enjoy today's video, listen, man, I don't ask for too much, but maybe a like, a comment, or even a share of the video so someone else who might enjoy this type of content can look and see for themselves if they want to leave a like on the video. So just help the boy out with some support in the video. Show me that you guys want to see some more of this as we keep on going down the timeline and make our way to Sewerperson itself. But yeah, man, without further ado, I'm not going to waste too much more time talking. Are y'all ready to get into the tiers? Let's get it. All right, so for starters, I have to break down exactly how these tiers are going to work, like I did last time. I'm going to do a quick little speed run summary of what I said last time, basically. So we have the S, the A, the B, and the C, and the D tier, okay? In the S tier, you have your best of the best tracks. So this is going to equate to any track that's put in this tier is going to give this album 5 points, okay? So 5 points for each song that is put in this tier. For the A tier, these are really good tracks. These are tracks that maybe could have had the potential to have an S rank, but they're really good, and so they're going to be in the A tier. These are going to be equated for 4 points. The B tier is where we have our solid tracks. These are tracks that are like, they're cool. They're good. They're solid. You know what I'm saying? They're not too out of the norm, too bad, or anything of that nature. They're just right there in the middle. So these are the solid tracks. In the C tier, you have the okay tracks. These are tracks that are like, they're there, you know, they're okay. And I might listen to them every once in a while. Not I'm going to go out of my way to look at these or to play these songs. And in the D tier, you have your skippable tracks. These are tracks that are just like either bad, boring, or they're just, not your cup of tea. So they, we're going to be put in the D tier. Now, like I said in the last video, by the way, if you have not checked out the last video, I recommend you go check that out so you get a really good sense of how this is going to be running for the rest of these videos. But basically, like I said last time, as we get closer and closer to Sewerperson, and as we get into Sewerperson, there's not going to be many more C and D tier songs, in my honest opinion. So buckle up, because you guys are going to see a lot of your favorite tracks end up in higher tiers now. At this point, I know there was a lot of controversy. Last video, people were like, oh, this list is whack. Oh, this list is blah, 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 blah. Again, like I said in that video, I challenge you. I challenge you to make a tier list yourself that isn't completely 100% just biased in every fathomable way. Because honestly, I think the problem with a lot of Sewerperson 9TAILS fans, in my opinion, is they overrate a lot of the tracks. All right, they do. It's that simple. I'm gonna be honest. I've always been upfront and authentic with you guys, and I'm gonna be honest right now. I feel like a lot of you guys have a very hard time with looking at a track objectively, or even just not as biased as you want to be and putting everything in the S tier or everything in the A tier. Sorry to tell you, some tracks are just bad. Some tracks the artists themselves probably don't even listen to on a day or at all after they made it because they don't like those tracks. They feel like those tracks are buns. They feel like they're trash. And they would put it in the D tier. So you as a hyper fan, you think you're doing this, you're showing this artist love because you're constantly saying all the tracks are fire, but in reality, that's a hindrance to their growth because now you're spreading false information that, oh, this song is fire and this song is fire and that song's fire when the last 3 songs you just said were fire, they're all mid or they're trash. And I'm going to be the one to tell the truth when I say, I'm listening to this like 2-3 times. And by the way, for these videos, I listen to all the tracks at least 2 times. At least 2 times. Some tracks where I'm very on the fence about their ranking, I might even listen to them 3 or 4 times. So don't tell me that I'm, not doing my due diligence. I'm not listening to it enough. Blah blah blah. I need to listen to it X amount of times. I've listened to it multiple times, brother. I've listened to it multiple times. It's not going to change the fact that I think the song is B tier or C tier or it's A tier. You might think it's S tier. It's okay. All right. So, anyways, rant over. Let's go ahead and get into the first track here. All right. So the first track we got is Abandoned. Okay. Abandoned was a nice start to the album, I feel like. It definitely set the tone a little early. And I like when tracks that, I like when the first track of an album really gets you into the mode of what the rest of the album is going to be setting up for, right? Or at least gives you a nice teaser of potential themes. And this one wasn't random. It wasn't all over the place. It had an actual substance to it. And it had a story behind it that you can easily follow. It's a very cohesive track. And it sounded really nice. So I put this one in the A tier. Not much more to say about that one. So go ahead and move on. Not spend too much time on these, right? We got track 2, which is called 1 a.m. It's produced by Hateful. Alright. 1 a.m. was a solid track. I feel like this coming after Abandon was a bit of a setup for it because I feel like Abandon really started off strong. It started off the album strong. And I feel that 1 a.m. had potential to just be the first track. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. Like this felt like more of a starter up type of track than Abandon did. Abandon started off a little too strong for 1 a.m. is what I'm saying. So for 1 a.m. to follow up on Abandon, I think was just what sold it in the end. I could see people putting it in the A tier. I'll put my hands up on that. I would concur to that. I feel like people can definitely put it in the A tier, but for me personally, I put 1 a.m. in the B tier. I think it's a really solid track, but I just feel like it had some areas where it was lacking in. It needs to just kind of sit in the B tier. Maybe one day I'll move it up to an A, but today's not that day. All right. Next track we got here is track 3, which is I'm You. All right. And I'm You was, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm You was probably on this particular album. You'll see a lot of these rankings, and I say I'm You was probably the most calm track. Like, and calm and not in a sense like it's actually calm, but it was just, out of all the other tracks, it was the weaker performing track in my opinion on the entire album. And that doesn't mean it's bad because guess what? I went ahead and put I'm You in the B tier, right? I'm You was a solid track. I will say that. I just feel like out of every other track in this album, this was the weaker of any of the other tracks in my opinion. Okay? Track 4 we got is I Don't Care, IDC. And I don't care, excuse me guys, I need to take a little swig of the water, you know what I'm saying? A little swig. Tasty. Anyways, so I Don't Care, in my opinion, was the track that really set off the dynamite, in my opinion. And what I mean by that is that every track so far had been just kind of really a solid teaser to everything that was going to come in the album. moving forward. You know, like I said, Abandoned started off strong, and then you had two solid tracks back to back after Abandoned. Now, I Don't Care pops up on the scene, and I personally believe this was one of the best tracks on this album. I Don't Care really set the tone. It brought the energy, the theme, the lyrics, everything was there. I feel like this is definitely an S tier song. I went ahead and put it in S tier, and I think I like that placement for the future. Like, I feel like I come back to this album, listen to it, and it would still be an S tier song in my opinion. So definite S tier. All right, track 5 we got is Friday Evenings featuring Sad Eyes. And Friday Evenings, again, was another one of those solid tracks. It didn't really do too much for me to even sniff A tier, in my opinion. But it was a solid track nonetheless. So I definitely put it in the B tier. I don't think it had any real weaknesses to where it would be down lower. It just doesn't have any really glaring strong suits to where I would put it in an A tier. So I just went ahead and put it in a B tier. All right, track 6 we got is Dive in the Mess. Dive in the Mess. Dive in the Mess. Hey, man, listen, we diving, but we ain't diving in no mess. We diving into something. Sorry, let me stop. But yeah, man, track 6, Dive in the Mess. This was, again, another one of those really solid tracks that I was really into. It just didn't feel like an S tier song, though. It didn't get me, like, out my seat. It didn't really get me out my body. Like, my emotions wasn't flared up from it and nothing like that. So it was cool. It was really cool track, really solid. I liked the overall theme in there. Everything was clicking on most parts. So I put this in the A tier. I feel like some of you guys might have Dive in the Mess in the S tier. Cool for you. But I put it in the A tier. I think it's just a really good track. Okay. Track 7 we got is Kill. And Kill was another really good track, man. These are back-to-back really good tracks. So I put Kill in the A tier. I think this one was really fun. I'm going to go ahead and play a quick little teaser of it on my laptop.
Your new academy.
Never mind, we're going to go ahead and wait for this ad to play. And once the ad finishes playing, then we'll play a little teaser of it. But just so you guys get an idea of what the hell I'm talking about with this right here. So there we go. Kill.
Feeding off flames like calories, no releases, expected like pregnancy. Everybody level like 4G, coming here a fast track, mine like 5G.
See, like, it started off like that, and then it just carried that same energy the whole time. It was cool track. So I went ahead and gave Kill the A tier, and I think that's where it definitely feels most comfortable. I honestly can see most of y'all putting in the S tier, honestly. But for me personally, I got it in the A tier. All right, next track. Track 8 we got is Enrapture Me. Enrapture Me was cool. It was cool. And it was our last B tier track. So the rest of the tracks you see, if you're following on SoundCloud, if you want to pull up the track list yourself on the side while you're watching this video, you know, after Enrapture Me, we still have like 5 tracks. No, we have 7 tracks. We have 7 tracks after Enrapture Me, and this is the last B tier track. So hey, get hyped for that. But yeah, Enrapture Me felt cool. It felt like a solid track, but it wasn't anything that really caught my attention too much. It just felt like a middle of the pack type of track. So I went ahead and just kept it in the B tier. I felt like it was solid and did its job. Moving on. Cool. Track 9 we got is Chillax. Chillax, man. Chillax was cool as fuck. I ain't gonna lie. And I definitely have this song in the S tier. I feel like this is one of the stronger tracks on this album as well as I Don't Care. So, yeah. S tier track. And if you want, go ahead and check it out yourself. Let me know what you guys think about that track in the comments down below, as well as any other tracks that I've been talking about this so far and what I will be talking about in the rest of the video, because I love to hear from you guys. I love to hear your opinions about things in terms of the song placements and this, that, and third. And again, for some of you guys, I'm waiting on that goddamn tier list you said you was gonna make me. I ain't gonna forget that. You guys talking about my list was whack last time. Okay, it can be whack. Let me see what you got. What you got? You got something for me? Because if you don't, zip it. You know what I'm saying? People always, they always talking shit about other people's tier list, but then when they get down to it and want to make a tier list, they struggle. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to put this shit. Or they just default put everything in the S tier. So it get real complicated when you gotta actually differentiate and figure out what songs are actually better than others and which songs are worse, right? It's different, right? It's different when you gotta put it onto a media form and have people judge it, you know, and all this extra shit. So hey, listen, I'm not taking shots at nobody specifically. Just saying. Just keep an open mind when y'all watch these videos, because it's not as easy as, oh, I just want to put everything in the S tier, because then people are going to be thinking that this is not a serious tier list, honestly. Like, it's super unserious to put every song in the S tier. I'm sorry. For any artist. Whether it's Garden, or it's Gucci High Waters, or Sleepwater, or Taylog, or it's fucking Darky, or it's fucking Black, or it's fucking Drake, or it's Future, or Kendrick, or whoever the fuck. If you're putting all their songs in the S tier, your tier list is very unserious. I'm just gonna be real. Alright. Anyways, off of that, right? Next track we got here is track 10, which is called The Plot. And the plot was, I struggled with the plot a lot. I wanted to put it higher, but I went ahead and put it in the A tier because I feel like when it all was said and done, I listened to the plot. I think the plot was the only track I listened to more than 3 times. I listened to it 4 times. I listened to the plot 4 times just to try to get my full-on opinion over it. It had the lyrics. It had the flow. It had the beat. It had the themes. It had so many different positives to it. But it's just something about it just wasn't getting me S tier vibes. So I went ahead and put it in the A tier. I might end up switching it again because I had it off the second listen. I had it in the S tier. Then I listened to it again and had it in the A tier. And then I listened to it one more time just to be sure, and I had it in the A tier. So I don't know. Let me know what y'all think. But I have the plot in the A tier. Okay, we're gonna move on to track 11 now, which is called Satellites and Spaceships. Satellites and Spaceships was a really good track, and this is the last S tier track of this video. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the S tier. It definitely stood up alongside, like it stood side by side with I Don't Care and Chillax. In my opinion, it was on that same tier of songs, so I went ahead and put it in the S tier. Definitely feel like it's just an S tier song. I don't even think this is potentially an A tier song. It's just S tier in my opinion. It's a really good track, and I really enjoyed it. Okay, track 12 we're getting down to the last couple of here. Track 12 we got is I'll Always Love You. I'll Always Love You was, it was a good track. It was a really good track. I liked the theme overall. The lyrics were very touching, this, that, and the third. I put it in the A tier just to kind of keep it simple. It didn't feel like a B tier track. It didn't feel like an S tier track. It just felt like an A tier track. It was really good. I liked it. That's it. Moving on. We got is track 13. Emo Punk Shawty featuring Garden. And honestly, I know a lot of people really want this track to be S tier. I don't think it's an S tier track. I didn't think it was an S tier track back when I first reacted to this song a little while ago. If you check back on the channel, I think it might be in the Sewer Person playlist. So if you want to check out that playlist on the channel, it might be in there. But I checked out AM to PM. I checked out this album. And when I got to the song, it was cool. I was bobbing to it. It was cool. But I don't think it's an S tier track. It's just really good. It's a really good time. It's the beat is real. It's all like weird and shit. It's real jumpy. Like, it's really cool. So, most times when Miles and Garden get on a track together, it's really it's quite different, and it's also really good energy, good vibes. So that's really what the story of Emo Punk Shawty was, in my opinion. So I went ahead and put it in the A tier. It was a really good track, but I don't think it's an S tier track. So yeah. Track 14 we got is Underwatch, and Underwatch was a really this was a weird one because I listened to this track 3 times. 3 times. The first time I listened to it, I was like, this is a solid track. I put it in a B tier. Then I listened to it again, and I was like, hold on, this is hitting different. I listened to it again, and I was like, this is hitting different. Hold on, wait a second. And I put it in the S tier. right? I'm tripping on, right? I'm a little off the rocker a little bit with that one. But then I listened to it one more time and I kind of settled into that sweet median. I listened to it one more time and hit it into that nice middle and put it in the A tier. And I think that's really where it stands the most over time. And so I think that's a proper place for it to be. Okay, so Underwatch I have in the A tier. And with that, we are on to our last track here, which is called Blankets. And Blankets was really, it was a really, and I'm just writing it down in the tier that I put it in because I forgot to write it down before I started the video. But Blankets was a very, it felt like a mellow type of track, and it really calms you down as you close out the album. I like that. I like when albums do that. When they start really nice, they start really strong, and then they kind of settle you in at the end there. And I feel like Blankets did a good job of that. So I went ahead and put it in the A tier. And I feel like it really doesn't feel like an S tier song. It feels like a solid A tier track. And so yeah, I think that's where I'm going to go ahead and keep that. And that's going to do it for AM to PM as an album. And in terms of all the songs, all 15 tracks being ranked, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a quick little screenshot of my notebook right here. Boom! Cool. All right. And so, as you may have seen, I might be cropping it out, but I might give you a different picture here. But this is going to be the criteria and the final score. So for the album, you have 80 possible points that you can gain for the ranking system. If you score a score of 80, it is considered a GOATed track. It's considered the GOAT, or not track, album. My apologies. It's considered a GOATed album. It has, you know, this is the top breed. Like, if you get a perfect score album, then you either dick stuck in really hard, or that album is God tier. So yeah. Next up, you got 60 to 79 score. If you get this type of score, which is more common to be able to get, I mean, from a really good album. So, you know, I'll give you a benefit of the doubt. If you score in this, it's in his prime. So this is what you will consider like a supremely good album. Very rarely will you get a GOAT tier album. I'm gonna be honest, very rarely will you get an album that gets a perfect score. So yeah. Next tier, right, or next ranking is from 40 to 59. You'll get your amazing album. So this is an album that is amazing. It's done it, you know, it did really well across the board. Maybe had one or two tracks that were like kind of whatever, but for the most part, it scored very high. All right. Then you have your 20 to 39 rank, which is good. It's just a good album. It's a good album. They didn't do anything. And then if you have a score of under 20, then it's just skippable. So it's a skippable okay album. Like, it's an okay album, but you wouldn't spend too much time sitting around listening to it, right? So this album, in my opinion, scored a score of 55 out of 80. If you were following the rankings and kind of taking it down yourself, you would know off rip at the end here that the score was 55. I scored it 55 out of 80. Let me know what you guys scored it in the comments down below. You know the criteria. S tier is 5 points, A tier is 4, B tier is 3, and C tier is 2, and then D tier is 1. I don't think anybody with a right mind is going to put any of these songs in the C or D tier, but maybe you will. Who knows? Everybody thinks I'm cuckoo crazy for the one I did last time, so who knows what you guys think. But that's going to do it, y'all. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know down in the comments down below what you guys thought about this tier list and what you guys want to see next on the channel in terms of other artists you want me to check out, other video types, etc., etc. I would always be willing to accept any sort of critiques or certain recommendations for me to do. I like bringing you guys fresh content, so just give me ideas and I'll work on getting that set up for you guys. But yeah, man, that's gonna do it. I hope you guys enjoyed it again. And it's been your boy TG, and I'm signing out for the night.